Let's talk about accessibility in music. Whenever I talk about Death Grips, Blade, Earl Sweatshirt, JPEG Mafia, or other less accessible artists on my page, there's always a couple people in the comments telling me how those type of experimental artists suck and how it's barely music. And while everyone is entitled to their own opinion, this got me thinking about accessibility in music and how it's viewed on social media. Accessible music is stuff that pretty much everyone would like and is what a lot of people would describe as basic. This doesn't mean it's bad. Kanye West makes accessible music and he's literally my favorite artist of all time. Common melodies, simple production, and straightforward song structure make this stuff easier to listen to, and even people who don't listen to a lot of music will enjoy this stuff. Less accessible music is stuff that only people who have adjusted to that style will like and usually has a lot more going on. For example, Death Grips has a lot going on with their heavy, complex production and harsh vocals. This drives a lot of people away from the music at first because if they haven't adjusted to it and they're not used to it, it might just sound like too much. This is not to say that Death Grips will grow on everyone. For some people, it's just not their thing, which is completely fine. My point of this video is just to encourage people to keep an open mind when listening to new music because it could be your thing and you just don't know that yet. Even I wasn't huge on Death Grips at first, but as the people around me kept playing it, I got more adjusted to it and developed an urge to go and listen to them. But even though I took a while to get used to their sound, some people might find themselves liking their music right away, which would make sense if they've already adjusted themselves to that sound. For example, someone who listens to a lot of abrasive rock or heavy metal has already exposed themselves to a lot of the elements that Death Grips uses and will probably adjust to their style very quickly. This also applies to other less accessible artists. For example, since I grew up listening to hard rock, grunge, and other subgenres of rock, I had a much easier time adjusting to Cemetery. But since I've never really been huge on harsh noise, I've had a harder time adjusting to music like clipping, but I still keep an open mind because that could change someday. Another example is Blade and Playboi Carti, who use their voice as an instrument to complement the production rather than using the production to complement their voice, taking the focus away from the lyrics and focusing more on how it sounds as a whole. This style is not the norm for most music genres and as a result will sound very foreign to some people. A big reason a lot of people would only hear Carti moaning on the mic when they listen to his music isn't because they're hearing different music, but just because they aren't listening for the right things because they haven't adjusted to it yet. Again, that's not to say people who don't like these artists have less developed music tastes or anything. A lot of people just value the vocals and lyrics of a song over the production, which is completely valid. There's no such thing as a good or bad music opinion, just those who challenge themselves to listen to more music and broaden their taste, and those who are content with what they like. Both are completely valid ways of listening. Music is an amazing art form made to be enjoyed, so I urge you to enjoy it however you like best. But the next time you check out an artist that maybe doesn't sound like what you're used to, go in with an open mind and you may find a whole new genre of music that you enjoy. If anyone has any questions or wants to discuss this with me, I talk about this stuff all the time with the chat in my Twitch streams. I'd love to see some of you guys there.